Alright designers, welcome back to another exciting Photoshop tutorial. I'm in a bit of a rush this morning, so I'm going to try to get you something really cool here real quick that you can try at home. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start by opening a couple files, and you can download these files in the link below. I'm just going to go to my Finder. I'm going to drag this in. This is one of our students' renderings from our Bootcamp class. Holly Young, great job on this one. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to turn this into a watercolor. Alright, so let's actually create a new layer now. I'm going to fill this layer with white. So I'm going to come down here, switch this to white, go to my paint bucket tool, which is around here somewhere. I think it's behind my gradient. Okay, let's turn off Holly's image for a second and then just paint white into here. Now what we want to do here is create a filter. So I'm going to come up here to filter. I'm going to go to filter gallery, and down here in the texturizer I'm going to make sure that this is set to 75 and make sure that let's set this to 3, and then just make sure that the light is coming from the top right. And this is going to give us kind of a nice paper texture. If I zoom in there, you can see kind of like a nice watercolor canvas. Alright, so I'm just going to bring this, I'm going to bring Holly's artwork just up above. Just need to double click on that to unlock it and just move it above this texture. So now I have two layers. So the next thing I want to do is bring in the paper texture. I'm going to just drag that right in. Hit enter. And then let's turn this paper into a linear burn. You can see how it gives it kind of a nice little glow. Now on her artwork, I just want to bring it down a little so it's a little smaller. And then I'm going to take its opacity down just a touch so that it's not so dark. Alright. So now we have basically all of our building blocks here. The next thing I want to do is use our watercolor brushes, and again you'll be able to download these in the file. So I'm going to hold Alt and I'm going to come down here to this mask button, click that, and then it's just a matter of painting back in the image. So I'm going to hit B for my brush tool, F5, I can bring up the brush settings, or you can go up to your window and go to brush settings. And then inside of here I have several different types of watercolor brushes. So let's just pick this one for now, size that up. And then I just need to paint white into my mask. Alright, so you got kind of a nice watery color, watery paintbrush stroke there. I'm just going to do this roughly for now, and then we can come back in. And I can toggle back to black by hitting X. And just kind of play around with the edges, making it look watercolor. And what you don't want are any of these straight lines at the bottom. Just want to give it a nice frame. And we can scale this up just a touch so it's centered. Maybe we could try a different brush. You can use your bracket keys if the brushes are too big. Left bracket goes down, right bracket goes up. And this is just a bit of a different texture to put in there. Whoops. Make sure you have your actual mask selected when you're doing this. And you can see how that paper texture that we made in the beginning is really nice, the canvas texture. Cool, so that's basically it. Maybe we'll just try a little bit of a experiment and make a new layer at the bottom. Let's come over here to kind of like a pink or red. Go back to our brush and then just paint in some colors behind our original, just to show like we've built on different layers of paint. I'm going to turn the opacity back up on this because it's showing through the red. And maybe what we'll do instead is just quickly edit the color on this one, the lighting, by coming down here. I'm going to go to curves, and then I'm going to hold Alt so that this curves clicks down here, and just bring up the light a bit so it's nice and bright. Bring up the blacks so the left side is blacks, the right side is highlights. There we go. And then we'll just reduce this a little bit. It's a little too strong. And let's introduce some new colors. So let's go with maybe a little blue. Some pink. Or I'm sorry, some green. Cool. So that's basically it. You can see we made a nice little effect with just a few layers over here. To save it out, you just go up to File, Save As. Do a JPEG, and then just save it out to where you need it. Cool. Would love to see your work here. If you guys do a couple images today, I would love to see them here on the Facebook page. And lastly, if this was a little bit too fast for you, don't worry. You can head over and check out our Photoshop launch course. And we also have our bootcamp class starting up real soon, so make sure you take a look at that. You'll get one-on-one coaching from me and the team on how to make your design boards stand out from the crowd and impress your clients. I hope to see you in class, and until then, happy designing.